Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with hilarious comedians Sam Tripoli from the Tinfoil Hat Podcast and Ron Placone.
Howdy, howdy.
So we're talking about, this is kind of unsettling. So Twitter gave testimony in front of the Senate and or the United States Committee on the Judiciary, the subcommittee on crime and terrorism. And, well, here it is. In the testimony of Sean J. Edgett, he's the acting general counsel for Twitter. And this happened on Tuesday on Halloween. So this is directly from his testimony in front of this committee. Are you ready for this? Because let's just do it. Twitter understands this is from that lawyer. Twitter understands the importance of committee's inquiry into extremist content and Russian disinformation online, and we appreciate the opportunity to appear here today. Do you see how it already starts going off the rails at the beginning? With the extremist content and Russian disinformation online. Let's remember what John Kiriakou told us on this very show, that they spent $100,000 on Facebook ads in Russia. We don't know who, just originated from Russia. It could have been anybody. $100,000. Half of that, $50,000, was spent after the election. And half of that, $50,000, was spent in states that were decidedly red already. So now it's even less. So now it's $50,000 before the election, even less than you thought, and then spent in places that are red anyway. So,
well, Jimmy, the part that nobody likes to talk about is that this was actually given on Halloween because the social media chapter of Russiagate, like Halloween, is just a bunch of hyperbole meant to scare people. So they wanted to.
Very nice. He goes on, although Twitter has been fighting the problem of spam and malicious automation for many years, in the period preceding the 2016 election, we observed new ways in which accounts were abusing automation to propagate misinformation on our platform. How does Twitter know what's real information and what's not? So if the Washington Post tweets out that the Iraq has WMDs, is that not misinformation? When New York Times tweets out that they have WMDs, is that not misinformation? When the New York Times tweets out an editorial that says that the Democrats have to move to the right and get in bed with Wall Street, isn't that misinformation? So how are you, when Rachel Maddow puts out a video that says that Russia is under my bed and around every corner, isn't that disinformation? My point is, how does Twitter know? Go ahead, Sam.
And this country's history is built on misinformation.
That's right.
I mean, there had to be a book written called The Untold Stories of U.S. History.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. You go through textbooks that are printed in Texas, and they go, that's not a real fact, that's not a real fact, that's not a real fafact. It's been since the dawn of time. It's only called fake news when it doesn't fit the official narrative.
When it goes against the establishment, when it's going to cost a plutocrat a nickel, that's when it's fake news, right? Yes. So it goes. He went on. He said, before the election, we also detected and took action on activity relating to hashtags that have since been reported as manifestations of efforts to interfere with the 2016 election. For example, our automated spam detection system.
Not a person. Sounds like that's not a person.
That's right.
Is that a job description for a person? What do? I'm an automated spam detector person. Nope, it's a system. All right.
Robots are already taking the job.
Yeah, not a person. Just pointing that part out.
Our automated spam detection systems help mitigate the impact of automated tweets promoting the hashtag Podesta emails, which originated with WikiLeaks' publication of thousands of emails from the Clinton campaign Chairman John Podesta's Gmail account. The core of the hashtag was propagated by WikiLeaks, whose account sent out a series of 118 original tweets containing variants of the hashtag Podesta emails referencing the daily installments of the emails released on WikiLeaks' website. Just so you know, WikiLeaks has never, ever published anything that wasn't 100% factual. Just so you know. So they're saying, oh, WikiLeaks is tweeting all this shit out. We got to stop it. They're tweeting out facts. They're tweeting out stuff that news agencies are supposed to do. They're an award-winning news agency. But they're reporting stuff that you don't like now, so now you want to trash them, which is exactly what Donald Trump does to NBC. He doesn't like the shit they're saying, so he wants to take their license away. But it's okay if you do it to WikiLeaks because, oh, we don't like Donald Trump, but we like Hillary Clinton. Okay, this is literally what they're saying. In the 2 months preceding the election, around 57,000 users posted approximately 426,000 unique tweets containing variations of hashtag Podesta emails. Approximately 1/4 or 25% of those tweets received internal tags from Twitter from our automation detection system that hid them from searches. So Twitter, so a Silicon Valley billionaire designs an algorithm to decide what you get to hear and what you don't get to hear, what information is true and not. Some billionaire guy in Silicon Valley developed an algorithm which is fucking wrong. It's going to tell you what is good for you and what is not. What could go wrong?
Yeah, and it doesn't specify like what like it's not like we detected that 1/4 of them were from It doesn't specify that. It just says that they used the hashtag and 1/4 of them were hidden. And we're supposed to be like, oh, great job.
Oh, great job.
Like, what did you do that was good here?
What if we were tweeting out, hey, look at this bullshit story about Podesta email? What if does that get caught too? So no matter what you say about it, you just catch it, right? You just suppress it from your users because you're daddy and they're too little to understand. That's what this is. This is paternalism. This is totalitarianism. Go ahead.
And why does it go only one way?
Right?
It's unbelievable. You have a website known for batting 1,000. And by the way, the best baseball player ever hit 400. That was the best. This website's batting 1,000. Putting this out. Yet this Russian collusion thing completely made up a false. No, did this automated system catch any of that? It's why does it only go to one? Is it because they have to keep up the pro wrestling facade of good guys, bad guys?
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
There's a little more to this. This guy, the lawyer for Twitter, went on to say, our systems detected and hid just under half, 48% of the tweets relating to variants of another notable hashtag DNC leak. Why would you want to suppress those tweets? DNC leak, which concerned the disclosure of leaked emails from the Democratic National Committee. What are you doing? Why is Twitter suppressing that information from a news organization that's accurate? Why would you do that? Would you also suppress the Pentagon Papers? Why would you do that? Recognizing that elections continue and that the health... By the way, did they try to catch any with the hashtag dossier? Did you try to catch any of those? Because that was all bullshit. That was all paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC. Did you catch any of those that said dossier? No. Isn't that interesting? As Sam says, why does it only go one way? Isn't that weird?
Why is it that? And you're literally filtering out facts.
Yes.
What I don't understand about this is everyone, you hear Donna Brazil, and I saw your video, and it was excellent about her. Oh, I won't answer this stuff because it's all, we were hacked.
Yeah.
What does it matter? Well, how about what's in the emails?
Yeah.
If I showed you a picture of your significant other with somebody else, are you yelling at me? Oh, why do you have that picture? How about what's in the picture is what's really offensive, not the fact that I have it on my phone and how I got it. The fact that your significant other is lying and cheating to you seems to be a little bit more, should be the important problem.
The proof that what you're saying is correct, Sam, is that when it was revealed who funded the dossier, which was the DNC and Hillary Clinton campaign, and they lied about it for a year, their argument then was it doesn't matter who funded it, it matters what's in it. That was their argument then. But the exact opposite of what they were saying when the emails were Podesta's. Then they were saying, no, you can't look at them because it was illegally gotten by a Russian government, which was made up. The VIPs, John Kiriakou, confirmed that was made up. And we'll never, ever, ever have proof that someone hacked into the DNC and John Podesta's emails. You know why? Because they didn't let the FBI examine their servers. And why would you not do that? Because they're fucking lying.
One other thing I just really wanted to ask, and I'd love any of your listeners to tell me this. They said that they hacked both and only release the DNC. How come not one Republican has ever come out and said he was hacked by the Russians?
Right.
They've never come out. They're not even that smart enough to set up both sides of the argument.
Right.
They only set up one side.
Yeah.
Not once have you seen one Republican going, yeah, they got into Me Too, and I can't tell you what they got, but they got. They're not even that smart to set up both parts of the crime.
This is amazing. Recognizing that elections continue and that the health and safety of our platform was a top priority, our first task was to prevent similar abuses in the future, meaning our first task was to implement censorship. Our first task was that we decided what you could handle and what you couldn't. Our first task was to be a nanny state for you on Twitter. Our first task was to suppress information that could be injurious to the establishment. That was your first task. So their first task was to suppress information and treat you like a child. We responded by launching an initiative to combat the problem of malicious automation and disinformation going forward. Again, as Ron pointed out, how do you know that was automated tweets? How do you know it was disinformation? You have no idea. You're just suppressing tweets. Since the 2016 election, we have made significant improvements to reduce external attempts to manipulate content. These improvements were driven by investments into methods to detect malicious automation through abuse of our API. And that stands for Application Programming Interface. That's what API stands for. Limit the ability of malicious actors to create new accounts in bulk, detect coordinated malicious activity across clusters of accounts, and better enforce policies against abusive third-party applications. So you guys have no idea what you're doing. They have no idea who's they're stopping, they have no fucking idea who's a bot, who's not. They have no idea. They're just suppressing information that's injurious to the establishment, and that's all that is. And what could go wrong letting Silicon Valley billionaires decide what's free speech and what's not? Hey, maybe we should have Jeff Zuckerberg from Facebook, right? Not
Mark
Jeff.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg from
You
Facebook.
always mix up the
I
Facebook
do.
guy and the
CNN.
president of CNN. You're like that's a special brand of evil. You combine those guys.
Maybe we let Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook decide what's a real news story. And, he should be deciding the veracity of news reports. And who better to decide that than a guy who stole the idea from his friends and made $1 billion off it?
I think this API or whatever it is a lot like that one person in a comedy club who demands political correctness and has demanded what everybody in the group should hear because can this software tell intent? Is that where we're at with AI right now? That's the same thing with political correctness. It is broad rules for everybody else.
Yep. That is exactly right. And you don't have a right to not have your feelings hurt, by the way. And a lot of times people get their feelings hurt incorrectly. So let's keep that in mind. So there you go. That's if that doesn't piss you off, it should. It's scary that now So again, look where the censorship's coming. It's coming from corporations. Why? Because corporations run the government now. They run the country. They're the ones who are. We have to appeal to a Silicon Valley corporation, a billionaire, to get our free speech. Isn't that weird? I think it's weird. And again, this can only lead to bad things. This cannot lead to good things. This will only be bad for our society. This will only be bad for the disbursement of information. This will only be used against the people. This will only be used to thwart the will of the people. This is not a good thing. November 6th is our next live Jimmy Dore show in Burbank, California. There's a link right there. Come see it. Help support the show. Make sure you subscribe and then click that bell next to it to make sure you get notified when we have a new video because YouTube has been unsubscribing people and making it hard to see our videos. Thanks for your support. The next live Jimmy Dore show is November 6th in Burbank, California and November 12th in Portland, Oregon. Link for tickets right there.